What is up, everybody? How are you? Happy last full moon of 2025. Doesn't that sound really, really weird to say? Doesn't that sound like absolutely, doesn't that sound absolutely super weird to say? This is the last moon of 2025. And I want you to think about something else, and this is going to blow your mind a little bit too. Are you ready? This is also the last moon of the first quarter of this century. Think about that. This is the last full moon that ends this quarter of this century, because this is 2025. We're going into 2026. Let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in for a minute. For this first quarter of this century. I know how many of you guys are like, I don't like you right now. Like, how many of you guys are like, I don't like you right now? And before I kind of get into readings and stuff, I've already got some people on my list and so on. If you guys want to get on my list, all you got to do is click on my profile link. You'll see the link up there. We're going to chat for just a minute first, because I know that a ton of you guys have been having some intensive feels, right? Some intensive feels about this full moon. And it's not just, it's odd. So we're gonna chat. We're gonna chat. Okay? We're gonna chat. But I'm gonna put that over there and hope it doesn't fall right back off. It's gonna scare the shit out of me when it does, but that's okay. I've got to clean my desk off today. I've talked to a lot of people over the last couple of days. First of all, thank you guys for all of you guys that reached out with, sympathy, wishes, condolences, etc. over the last few days. I really, really have appreciated every one of you. And to those of you guys that have acted like cunts in my message box, especially on the website, may you have the entire next quarter of a century that you deserve. I've seen every one of you. The girls have forwarded your messages to me. And if you are being mean to the girls on my website, I get waiting for orders. I get that you're frustrated. I am more frustrated than all y'all, trust me. But let me just say that if you have just been told, hey, there was a death in the family, Bodhi is out of pocket, and you still acted like an ass, let me just say that may you have the next quarter of a century that you deserve, Sugarfoot. Let's just say that. But for those of you guys that have reached out with condolences, you've been so sweet. You've been super patient about the shipping. I keep looking over there because, yeah. I really appreciate you guys more than you ever will realize. But this full moon has been very, very interesting because there are a lot of people that are going through something super, super intense. Okay? This full moon not only is, and that's why I pointed out that this full moon was the last one of this quarter century, because I want you guys to kind of think about that for just a minute. Just let that sink in. Not to make you feel old or anything like that. I just want you to let that sink in a minute, okay? This is the end of 2025. This is the end of the first quarter of this century, of the 21st century. The first quarter of the 21st century will be over in less than a month. Okay? This is the last full moon of that. And this is the last full moon in Gemini. It's not just, oh, it's Sagittarius, or oh, it's, Capricorn, or oh, it's whatever. No, this full moon is in Gemini. Thank you for that, Treasure Active. Thank you. This full moon is in Gemini. This is a very dualistic way of looking at your life. The fact that this full moon ends a quarter of a century, and this full moon ends a very turbulent year in just the world. We're just going to say it, just the world. It also ends a 5-year mark since the shutdown, since COVID. And I want you guys to just kind of mentally go through some of the shit that you've been through in the last 5 years, because I don't care who you are, how much money you make, what you look like, where you live. Every single person alive in the last 5 years went through some very intense shit. You lost a lot of people. You lost a lot of your faith in institutions, in religions, in people in the world and whatever. You had a lot of losses, like jobs, cars, houses, things like that, friends, belief systems. These are all major life changes. And I let that sink in a minute. These are major life changes. Any one of those things, a death in the family, that's a major life change. A move, major life change. The loss of a job, major life change. Not to mention the shutdown. And that's just in 5 years. So this full moon right here is super intense for many, many, many reasons. Many reasons. Because if you take, just you listening right now, if you take all of the things that you went through personally in the last 5 years and you multiply that by how many people are in the world right now, think of that. You want to know why the energy feels heavy all the time? That right there. We're ending a 5-year span of intensity, of loss, of change, of shifting, of beliefs being just out the window. That's a lot. Even if it's not everybody in the world, which we all know it is. That's a lot. Let's just say it's 1 billion people that have that. I can't even wrap my head around how many people 1 billion people is. There's almost 500,000 people in the city that I live in. And I can't wrap my head around that, even though I can drive around town and see it. Do you see what I mean? So think about that. That this is so much energy that's now coming to a head. It's coming to a point. And this full moon in Gemini is all about making you face the duality of everything you've been going through. If you did not go on my site, I didn't get it up on YouTube. I'm so sorry, YouTube. On TikTok, etc., there is a quick rundown of how this full moon is affecting every zodiac sign. And some of them, I know some people in the comments have been like, ouch, I don't like you. But this is you facing a lot of duality in your own life. Gemini is not a sign that fucks around and finds out. Like, they are a sign, either they do or they don't. Sometimes they do and they don't. I got to pick on my Gemini friends for a minute. But Gemini is all about looking internally. Gemini is all about paying attention to what it is that's going on around you in that moment and usually instantly reacting to it. Whether that's running the other way or being right up in someone's face. Do you see what I mean? So, this full moon is beyond intense for a lot of reasons. For a lot of reasons. And if you haven't looked at that, that video, you should. I will get it up on YouTube today. I promise. I'm so sorry, YouTube. But I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit because I've talked to a lot of people over the last, week especially. And even just people in my family this week that I don't get to see a lot. And maybe they don't super jive with some of the witchy stuff, the spiritual stuff or whatever, but the vast majority of my family are hippies, so there's that. But a lot of them mentioned as well how heavy this Thanksgiving holiday was. And I had to point out to them, I'm like, well, at the risk of sounding crazy, like, there's a really intense full moon coming up. So a lot of people have been having to really, really pay attention to what's going on around them, having to look at all of these different things that they don't normally look at, and really intensely facing a lot of things that you haven't had to really face. Does that make sense? So just pay attention to how you feel, pay attention to everything that's going on, pay attention to the themes that keep popping up over and over and over, because that right there is the most intense thing that there is. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys a little bit because I feel like I've missed you a little bit. I had to take off last night. I am that person that I'm good in the moment. I'm good when there's a panic. I'm good when there's shit going on. I can hold my shit together. I managed to get up and talk at my grandma's funeral without breaking down. Did my voice crack? Yes. But I didn't break down. I didn't cry. But yesterday was my breakdown day. And I needed to just mindlessly sit. My kid and I put up the Christmas tree and ordered way too much boba and just zoned out. Like, I just needed to zone out. You know what I mean? So I appreciate all of you guys. Don't think that I didn't see all of the messages you guys sent. I may not have answered everybody back because it was a lot, but I appreciate it. So, yeah. So, yeah. It's a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot, especially yesterday and today. And y'all don't expect tomorrow to be any different. But here's the thing, and I'm going to remind you of this, my little witchy poos. If you don't have water set out right now, go do it. Okay? I don't care if you just take a water bottle out there. Go fucking do it. Because like I said, this is the last full moon of the year. And it is the last full moon of this quarter of a century. It is also the last full moon of a very tumultuous, very massive turmoil of the past 5 years. Do you see? Do you see the theme here? That's a lot. That's a lot. And if it freezes where you are, even better, because ice water is used to illuminate. Because think about it. When you look at something through ice, it can be like a mirror. It can be like glass, right? It's also used to freeze something out of your life, out of your path. And it's used to cleanse. Because if you think about how snow and ice are when they first fall, they're beautiful and pristine and white. Just saying. Just saying. All right. That's what I'm saying. Can you recharge moon water you already have? Yes, but you need to set some out that's just this. That's just this. If you have snow, yes, you 100% should gather some of that snow. I'm a little disappointed. We were supposed to be under a winter storm watch, and it all went south. Like, we got all these warnings last night, like winter storm warning, ice and sleet, and then snow on top of that. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad I, ordered groceries yesterday because I was being lazy and I didn't want to leave the house. And we're stocked up. We're good. We didn't even get a drop of rain. We didn't get a drop of fucking rain. We didn't get a drop of rain. It is what it is. Today is the height of the full moon. Actually, I can tell you exactly what time. It may have already passed. But tonight is the night that I would put your water out. If you haven't already done it, do it today. Do it today. All right, let me look here and I can tell you exactly. Oh, 5:15 p.m. Eastern time. So 5:15 p.m. Actually, I lied. Central time, because that is where I'm at. 5:15 Central time. 6:15 Eastern time, 4:15 Mountain time, 3:15 Pacific time. So you guys have a couple hours until the height of it, so that way you can get that done. Should you do cord cuttings? No, not today. The last black moon, the last new moon of 2025 is on the 19th coming up. That is when I would do that. Or I would wait till Yule and do it on Yule. But yeah, I would not, yeah. Just saying. But you have a little bit to get it out. So if you're like, oh shit, I'm not home from work yet, you got time. You got time, I promise. Or just have it delivered and put it on your porch. It'll get it. It'll get it. So yeah. All right. I'm making sure I've got all my lists up. So the readings for today are, there's a mini message, a cosmic DM mini message. There's a Twin Tongues Truth reading. Oh my God, I said it. Oh my God, I said it. Twin Tongues Truth reading. And then the last full moon download. And then all three, I did 5 tickets for all 3 of those, and those are sold out. So those will be going first. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. So yeah. Make sure I got all my stuff. The last full moon download. I know that a lot of you guys have got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody does. And I just want you guys to keep that in mind, okay? I just want you guys to keep that in mind. There are a lot of people that have a lot of stuff going on. You know, a lot. Let's see here. Why aren't you letting me see the thing? There we go. My computer is deciding that it wants to be really slow. It's kind of making me mad. It's kind of making me a little mad. All right. Anybody else been having issues with their internet? Just anybody else? Because I am. It's been pissing me off. Pissing me off. Like super pissing me off. Okay. Looks like Stephanie is first. Stephanie G is first. And so these first 5 are all 3. So this is the... let me go back and read them correctly. The Cosmic DM, the Twin Tongues, and the Last Full Moon Download. So we're going to start with the Cosmic DM for Stephanie. I've got several decks out. This is on YouTube, so if you guys have a ticket and you're like, oh shit, I got to get back to work or whatever, I got you. It's up there. It's up there. Yeah, if you guys have snow and ice where you are, I will take your gold star away for today if you do not go get some, even if it's like a spoonful. By the way, you guys know that it doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't take a lot. Because you can have a cup, literally like a measuring cup of snow, a few icicles, and you can put that in other water and charge that water. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? All right. Are we ready? We are. That's the answer. So we're going to start with the Cosmic DM first. And you guys are going to have to forgive me. I'm going to have to go back and forth to see what it is I'm supposed to be doing because my brain still is not braining all the way today. So, yeah. So, one of the things that this is going to do is this is what's been going over and over and over. And you've been missing it. So you don't hate the messenger. So don't hate the messenger. And don't forget there is a special Reiki session tonight. And then if you guys have not seen a couple of my videos on TikTok, I have some things and some stuff to do for some certain people. I will just say this before I get going, because this is going to be a disclaimer before all of my readings from this point on. If you get this service, by booking this service, you have already agreed that you've agreed to get it. Let's just say that. I've had 2 people this last week that got services, got candle workings, that were done live on a live stream that are on YouTube for them to see. I also have someone that special ordered a love working for her and the person that she's interested in, that both, after these services were done, promptly turned around and filed fraud charges or things like that with their credit card company. Let me explain to you guys what happens when you do that. First of all, not only does it charge me back, so let's just talk about this love working, because that was $77, okay? Got it on a special, $77. So had all this love working done, that was a lot of ingredients, a week's worth of time, etc. Turned around and filed fraud charges. Not only did you get that service, but it will, when you file a fraud charge with a credit card company, on my end, it automatically flags you through my credit card company, okay? Through my processor, that this could be, a fraudulent card, fraudulent customer, etc. So guess what the fuck I'm going to do? I am 100% going to say, yes, this is not a real person. So the credit card company is going to flag your card that you are a scammer. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Usually that comes with locking the card, etc. The next thing that happens is this. Since we did the working for you, we know all of the ingredients that were utilized, and we know exactly the steps that were done. Tonight's a full moon. I sent this person several messages. This person has ignored me, and also made sure to state that her friend Shannon sent her over to me. That Shannon had been a follower of mine for a long time and said what an amazing person I am. Shannon, I absolutely love you. Thank you for sending the word out and etc. I appreciate that. But this friend of yours that you sent over to me, just know that you might want to back up just a hair. Because sometimes when things are undone and things are sent back, it splashes. So you might want to back up just a little bit and not befriend this person anymore. Because if this friend is happy to fuck over somebody that is going to do a love working to strengthen a relationship, mind you. And tonight's a full moon. And tonight is a full moon in Gemini. And tonight is a full moon, the last full moon of this quarter century. You couldn't have picked a better time, my sweet, sweet, innocent little friend. So not only are there physical repercussions with the credit card company, enjoy all of that, because if you don't think that I pressed every single button to press every charge, to do every fraudulent customer thing, then you are sadly mistaken. And if you don't think that there's fixing to be an amazing, wonderful working done for you tonight, I am so going to enjoy living in the penthouse of your brain for the next half a century. So, by ordering a reading, just know that energy is energy. You gave your energy and your permission for me or anybody else to read for you, and if you fuck that person over, that is on you. That is 100% on you. All right, Stephanie, what is it that keeps coming up? And for some reason, you're glossing over the sign. All right. This would be the destruction card. This would be the destruction card. So what this tells me in this kind of cosmic DM is that there's been a lot of things that have been getting removed from your path, obliterated from your path, just removed from your life, etc. And you keep trying to claw and hold on to them and pull them back. You keep trying to just hold on to them and never let it go. So every time the universe says, hey, this isn't for you, or this path is no longer the right path, or whatever, every single time the universe has tried to pull something out of your life, you have insisted that it stay. So here's the thing, and I want you to think about it in this way, Stephanie, okay? And I'm sure someone else needs to hear this as well. Not that I'm wagging my finger at you, but I'm sure someone else needs to hear this as well. If you have an infection in your body, what do? What do? You go to the doctor, you get medicine, right? You get an antibiotic to take care of the infection. So let's say that you don't do that because you're like, you know what, but this is my infection. I built this infection. How do you see how ridiculous it sounds already? Like I can't hardly keep a straight face. I built this infection. This is my infection, right? You know that that infection is bad for you. You know that infection is bad for you, right? But you still hold on to it, okay? So let's say that infection's like, okay, and that infection spreads. Well, now let's just say that, it moves into your hand. And now you have 2 fingers that are so infected you can't use them. With Zeus's snoring. Let's say that the doctor's like, hey, we really should take care of that. Like, you're going to lose those 2 fingers if you don't take care of that infection. But those are my fingers, and that's my infection. I worked really hard to grow those fingers, and I worked really, really hard for this infection to take over. How many of you guys are like, ouch? Well, let's say you still don't listen. The doctor is the universe, by the way, being like, hey, let's say you still don't listen, and you end up having to have those, you end up with those two fingers getting cut off because you fell out and ended up in the hospital, and they had to amplify those fingers. That's exactly what happens. If you ignore the destruction, if you ignore all of the things that the universe is like, hey, this is no longer for you. This person is no longer for you. This job is no longer for you. This path is no longer for you. If you're ignoring all of that, eventually you will end up with those things being severed. With the universe will sever it. I'm just saying. Just saying what I'm saying. And here's the thing. No one wants to let go of something until you think about it like an infection. Let that sink in a minute. No one wants to let go of shit that they've worked really hard for until you think about it as an infection. Do you see what I'm saying? But a lot of times that's exactly what it is an infection. Think about a toxic relationship. That's an infection. Think about a toxic job. That's an infection. Think about that family member that always treats you like shit. That's an infection, right? Right? All right, let's do the Twin Tongues Truth reading. So this is the truth you need to speak, the truth you need to hear, and guidance on how to communicate that truth. Are you ready? Like, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Stephanie's like, why did I do this? Okay. I love you, Stephanie. The truth you need to speak. This is need, focus, and transition. The truth you need to speak has to do with your own personal needs. In other words, you are allowing other people's needs to come before your own. And when you allow other people's needs to come before your own, it gets to the point that they don't want to hear those needs because they're so used to their needs being met first. And this is also, like, this is not just relationship and family and so on. This is in life, right? People get to the point that they are so used to putting their needs way down below everybody else's. Way down below everybody else's. That it's normal for our needs to be down here. And when it's an actual like life or death type of need, when it's actually something that's affecting your health, when it's actually something that's affecting your entire life. Like maybe you have, here's a good example, and this is one that I think everybody can relate to. If you have ever had a toxic relationship that cut you off from your family and friends because they didn't like those people, and then you find out that one of your good friends passed away or somebody in your family passed away or whatever, and you missed that time with them because when you needed to go and be with those people, that person said no. Do you see what I'm saying? When you say it like that, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and people are like, why would anyone ever let that happen? You don't let it happen. It just kind of happens when you're in a toxic relationship. But every one of you that has been in a toxic relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you let someone else put their needs over yours, then you end up missing the main things that are meant for you with your life. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's path is different. So Stephanie, you've got to start speaking up about your own needs, about the needs that you have right now. Whether it's, hey, I need some alone time, or I need to go to the doctor, or I need to not live in this house anymore. I need to not work in this toxic job anymore because of stress. Do you see what I'm saying? So you need to start speaking that truth about what you need, what Stephanie needs. It's hard. It's really hard when you have always put everybody else's needs above yours. It's really, really hard for you to put your foot down. But I am going to say this. When you first do it, you're going to shake inside. You're going to shake inside and you're going to be like, and somebody is going to get mad at you. Just know, someone is going to get mad at you, and that's fine. Let them be mad. Because that's a them problem, not a you problem. If they're mad because you need to go to the hospital, that's a them problem, not a you problem. Do you see what I'm saying? And I want you to think of it in black and white, life or death, is or isn't type of things. There's no gray. Okay? There's no gray in the middle. Not a single bit. All right? You've got to start speaking that truth, Stephanie. All right. The truth you need to hear. This is, don't hate me. I love you. Lilith, hunger, animism, and instinct. I find it interesting that Lilith is associated with destruction, and destruction is the DM, the cosmic DM that you needed. The truth you need to hear. All right, come closer. Come closer. I want you all to listen very, very carefully. Sometimes you are the villain. A lot of times you are the villain. Everyone is going to see you in a different light. Everyone. It doesn't matter. You cannot control the narrative of how everyone sees you. And I'm gonna use a few celebrities as examples. If I say the name Clint Eastwood, what do you think of? What do you think of? Dirty Harry, all those tough ass movies, right? Big tough guy, stand-up guy, great guy, right? Somebody out there thinks he is the worst piece of shit human being that there is. Think about that. What do you think about Kim Kardashian? You either love her or you hate her. There's no in between. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob Thornton, Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne. I could go on and on and on. There are people in your life that see you as an amazing person, as their savior, as their favorite person. And there are people that hate your guts, am I right? There are people that already paint you as the villain. There are people that paint you as the villain already. When you start holding back your own instincts because you're afraid that someone is going to paint you as the villain, then you're holding yourself back off of your path, off of where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to get there. There's a part in a movie that I think about a lot. And it is the old Three Musketeers movie with Chris O'Donnell, Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt. It's the best one. I love it. I love it. Tim Curry. But in it, there's a part where Rebecca De Mornay is about to get her head choppity chopped. And she had been married to Kiefer Sutherland's character. And he goes up really quickly and talks to her before that happens, right? And she tells him, I wasn't the person you made me out to be when we were together, when we were married. But I've become that person now. When you let someone paint you as the villain without deserving to be the villain, sometimes that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I was called the Wicked Witch of the West for a long time by my ex-husband, and now look at what I do. So there you go. But you are never, ever, Stephanie, gonna control the way that everyone looks at you. You can't. You can't. Trust your instincts and trust what is good for Stephanie. And if it makes you the villain in somebody's eyes, then it makes you the villain in somebody's eyes. And just own it. Just own it. Just be the villain. Be the villain. All right. The guidance on how to communicate it. This is how to communicate your truth and the truth you need to hear. Ready? Oh, the thinker. Knowledge, instruction, and reinvention. I think you already have all of the knowledge. I don't think anybody needs to sit and be like, oh, Stephanie, you need to do this and this and this and this. You already know what it is that you need to do. You already know what you need to do. You already know all of the things that you need to say out loud as your, this is what I need. You already know all of the things that you need to do to follow your instinct and so on. So we're actually going to focus on the reinvention right here. What I love about this is, like I said, this is the last full moon of the year. The last new moon of the year is coming up. And then is Yule a couple of days later. And then a week after that, 10 days after that, it's 2026. Stephanie, this is the perfect time for you to reinvent you. This is the perfect time for you to sit and think and plan out all of the things you're going to be doing next year for Stephanie. This is the time for you to sit and enjoy every little bit of planning that reinvention of you. You see what I'm saying? Planning is key. I'm not going to lie. Planning is key. Especially when it comes to reinvention, because if you don't plan out that reinvention, you end up willy-nilly just going all kind of crazy ways, and it's really hard for you to sit and focus on one specific thing. Am I changing my hair? Am I changing my clothes? Am I changing jobs? Am I moving across the country? Am I getting divorced? Am I getting married? Do you see what I mean? You really have to sit and think about it. Otherwise, you're going to end up married to some random person in Vegas that you don't even know. I'm just kidding. I mean, maybe not. But, Stephanie, that's what you need to do, is pay attention to all of that. Okay? You need to pay attention to all of that. That's how you need to communicate. And I would start with communicating with yourself, because whoever it is that you have to communicate this, I need this going forward, they may not be ready to listen to anything you have to say. I don't know why my lip is itchy right there. It's great. It's fun. All right. So now let's do the last full moon download. So this is the big lesson of 2025, what to release tonight, and then your keyword for 2026. All right. Apparently your keyword came out first. So when I do these, I am going to read what the first card is, what the big lesson is. I'm going to read what it is you're releasing tonight, and I'm going to tell you what all that means. However, that last card, that key word for 2026, you just need to know the word. That's it. You just need to know the word. I'm not going to explain it to you because it's going to mean something different to you now versus two months from now versus this time next year. It's going to mean something different, but it will be your word of 2026. Are we ready? All right. Your big lesson of 2025, what this year really taught you. This is the navigation card. This year showed you that you are both a ballerina and a linebacker. It showed you that you can shift and pivot and pirouette all through all of the shit coming your way. And it also showed you that you can be the linebacker and just run straight through the opposition if you need to. Learning how to navigate which one of those you need to be at which moment is 100% a skill that you learned in 2026. And I don't think that you're giving yourself enough credit for it, Stephanie, because when it comes to being able to navigate situations, tact is a thing. And I have found out the hard way over the last 5 years. People don't know what tact is. People don't know how to read the room. And so learning how to read the room, learning how to handle yourself with grace, learning how to be tactful when you're saying fuck off is a big, big thing. And that's what you learned this year. That was your big lesson of 2025. When do I just kind of shift and pivot and pirouette and go over here? And when do I fuck around and find out, linebacker through people that are causing problems. Give yourself some credit for that, Stephanie, because that's a lesson that a lot of people do not learn. They don't learn it. That's a big, amazing, massive thing for you to learn. And I think that's fantastic, and I'm very proud of you for it. What do you need to release tonight? This is what you need to go take a breath outside and leave the fuck outside so it doesn't come back in with you. Interesting. Blessed day. And I know it's like, wait, why am I leaving my blessings? This is a gratitude for these things, for all of the blessings that came to you in 2025. Just like I say, you have to turn manifestations off. You also need to know when a blessing has been given and is done. Because sometimes people think that, oh, well, if I get this money blessing once, I'm going to get this money blessing all the time. It's not the case. That is not the case. Take a breath outside. I know it's cold as fuck, okay? Go outside, take a big breath. And think about all of the things in 2025 where the universe caught you, where the universe was like, oh, I got you. You needed that extra little bit of money for rent. Here it is. You needed that extra, hour at your job to get a project done. Oh, you needed this or this or this, right? So go outside and just take a moment, and all of the things, all of the blessings, all of the amazing things that came to you in 2025, here's what I want you to do. I want you to just give thanks, and I want you to breathe them out. And I know that sounds really weird, but take a deep breath while you're thinking about all the different things that came to you. And you may have to take 3 or 4 deep breaths. And then when you're breathing them out, just breathe that gratitude out. Because what that tells me is you're trying to hold on to some of these blessings that were only like one time or in the moment blessings, right? By holding on to those, it means other things can't come in. Just saying. All right, you ready for your keyword for 2026? I'm dying to see it. Courage. Your keyword for 2026 is courage. Let me put it in the way it needs to go. I was putting it in face up in the deck. I would have been like, what's going on right now? Oh yeah, it was you, dumbass. This is your friendly reminder that there is no tolerance in this live stream. If you would like to come in and be a jerk, if you would like to come in and do anything at all that is making fun of people, talking about people, etc., you may kindly see yourself out somewhere around Fuck Off's town. I think the Who's is past Whoville somewhere and past where the Grinch lives, because even he has more tact than some of you all do. Miss Amy D is next. I have 4 drinks. I feel like I'm on my game. 4 drinks, I'm on my game. All right, Miss Amy. I am going to lower some of these a little bit because I realized that I put way too many tickets out there. I was like, wow, you got really overzealous, bitch. Like, that's great. That's great. I mean, I'm proud of myself that I thought I could really do that many. Like, that, I'm proud of myself for that. Like, I gave myself a lot of credit, but I'm just saying. I had myself doing 45 readings. My brain would be mush. My brain would be mushy, mushy. All right. I'm really appreciating how my own capacity for things right here, right now. There's that. All right, then. All right. All right. All right. Almost said Stephanie. All right, Amy, you ready? So, Cosmic DM, the thing that you've been missing over and over. Ooh. I mean, there was a time when I would do 25 or 30 readings in a night. And I would also start at 8 o'clock in the evening and be up till 3 in the morning. I mean, I could do it. But, yeah. Before I get started with Amy, I will say this. I'm going to put out a video about some changes because I'm going to start doing a lot more consultations. There'll be one day a week where I'll have a live consultation, probably on like Mondays or something. So that way you guys can jump on and I can kind of give you a little bit of a consultation, a free consultation. And that way you know what to book on the website or you know what you need to do for yourself and so on. This is not readings. It's not me giving you explicit instructions on how to do things. People think that a consultation is basically like, you know, free instruction and so on, and that's not what it is. It's just a signpost, a guidance, like, oh, okay, you definitely need a cleansing or a protection, or you need to talk to somebody that works in hoodoo. I don't. Or you need to, you know, do whatever it is. Okay, so that I will start up next week. It'll probably be Monday, to be honest. Because that gives me a chance to just sit and talk to you guys and do some blabby blabs and us hang out and all of that stuff. So yeah. All right. Amy, Cosmic DM. This is the withdraw card. I was going to make a joke that the universe is trying to give you permission to be a hermit, but I actually don't think that's what this is completely. This is every single sign the universe has been giving you over and over and over to withdraw from a situation, whether it's a person, a relationship, a job, a family, whatever it is. It is to withdraw from this entire situation and just let it go. The problem is that sometimes we get so ingrained in something that it's hard for us to let go, right? We feel like we're fully vested in it. We've put in a lot of time and energy and money and space and so on. And so it's really, really hard to absolutely let that thing go and withdraw from it. Even when the universe has been telling over and over and over and over that this is not for you anymore, back off. So, Amy, I'm going to advise to look at the thing in your life right now that when that person texts or that situation comes up or whatever it is, when you go, oh my God, like when inside you just cringe because you don't want to deal with it. I would highly advise to look at that because this is the withdraw card. Let that thing go. That's something I adopted, this right here, 2 claps and then doing this. I adopted it from, it's really interesting. Both of my grandmas did this. Both of my grandmas did that when they were done with something. And so I started doing it when I was younger and then I stopped doing it. And I really adopted it in like 2018, 2019, especially when I was going through a divorce. Because in my mind, okay, and I'm going to explain this to you. This is mainly for Amy, but I want to explain this to you because I want you guys to be able to use this because you're going to understand exactly why, okay? As a kid, you're taught to have something physical to go, right? Ready, set, go. And, you know, somebody waves a flag, go. That's a physical thing, right? You hear ready, set, go, and they do the little pop gun or whatever. Or, you know, whatever it is, tag, you're it. Now you run harder, right? So when you have something physical with your body that allows you to start over, to let something go. And it doesn't have to be that, but that's when a lot of the people that were born around the Depression era used is that one. I saw it a lot. See it a lot with older people like that. But think about that. You're welcome to use that one. You know what I mean? But find yours that allows you to have something physical to let go of it. So that way, you know, when you've done that, you're done. You're done. There's no going back. And know up here in your mind and in here that when you make that motion, there is no going back. If you say, hey, I don't want to see you anymore, you know, I think we need to go our separate ways, and you do that, and then they call a week later and they're like, I'm really sorry. Nope. I'm glad you called to apologize. I appreciate that, but you did the thing. You did the thing. Okay? Do that, Amy. That will help you, I promise. All right, let's do the Twin Tongues truth reading. The truth you need to speak, the truth you need to know, and then the guidance on how to do it. Okay. The truth you need to speak. Completion, support, and expediency. Yours is a little bit of a combination. We just talked about that withdraw, and this is also completion. But support is another big theme in this one, okay? And I want you to notice on this card that he's specifically holding something. This is Thanatos. He is a Titan, if I remember correctly. But he's specifically holding something, right? He's supporting that little teeny tiny, I think it's a butterfly, if I remember right. Yeah, it's a butterfly. A little teeny tiny blue butterfly. And I want you to also notice that he's holding, you know, a burning scepter, a burning torch. He 100% could smash that butterfly. He 100% could burn down all of the things around him, right? Knowing when you need to say, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm done with that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Whatever. Speaking up and being able to say, hey, like, that's not cool with me. You know, you can't treat me like that, or I'm not going to take on extra work. I'm not going to do this or this or this. Speaking that truth into existence and being able to say, you know what, I need you to support my decision instead of making me feel guilty. That's also another aspect of you and what you need to start speaking up about. And I know that that's really hard, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what gender you are. We're all taught to be this or to be this or to whatever. And having someone support your decisions comes with its own problems. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. You know, when I decided to get divorced, I had people that supported me and I had people that tried to talk me out of it. When I decided to buy a haunted church in Pennsylvania, I had people that supported me and I had people that tried to talk me out of it. When I, you know, did this. There, and I want you, every single one of you can think of something like that. I had people that supported me when I wanted to move here, or when I wanted to join the military, or when I wanted to get married, or whatever. There's always going to be someone that wants to talk you out of stuff and someone that wants to support you. You have to learn to speak up when someone tries to talk you out of something and not be hateful about it, but just ask them, why is it you feel that way? And let them give you logical reasons. Give them the option of giving you logical reasons of why you shouldn't go to work for that company, or why you shouldn't date that person, or whatever. And if there are no logical reasons, let that sink in. If there are no logical reasons, let that sink in. Okay? You need to be able to speak up and say, this is the support I need, and I am done with this, and I'm not doing it anymore. Okay? So let's look at, let me make sure I say it right. The truth you need to hear. No, why did I write this? Why did I write this like this? I don't like this one. Okay. Interesting, the truth you need to hear. Necessity, focus, and transition. This is not necessity like it was. I find it funny that one came out in Stephanie's reading. This is transition. The truth you need to hear is that You've been holding back on your own transition for a very long time. You've been holding back not only on your own transition, but on, like, you've been holding your own self back, period. I think that it's 100% time, Amy, that you need to focus on you and the transition that you need to make. I don't think it's even a want to make, it's a need to make what it is that you need to do in going forward. Why do I keep feeling like this is job related? Because I keep wanting to give you examples of job things. So I'm just going to say this. At one point, I worked for a Christian publishing company, and you guys, most of you, if you followed me for a very long time, you know that. I worked for a Christian publishing company, and I did love my job. I really, really do. I did love my job. But I kept getting this feeling like I needed to find another job, right? And I couldn't figure out why I felt that way. And I went on vacation, just a weekend vacation to Daytona Beach with somebody that I was dating and all of the other work, their work girlfriends and wives and stuff like that. And I was sitting on the beach with a lady that I had made friends with. And we were just sitting there, and it was cold. It wasn't really super warm. It was kind of cold, overcast. We were just sitting there, and I couldn't get over how beautiful the waves were. I was just watching the waves, right? I couldn't get over how beautiful the waves were. Oh, I love that, Jasmine. Thank you for telling me that. Tell her I said thank you. Tell her I said thank you. I appreciate that. But I couldn't get over how pretty the waves were. And I was just watching them, and the lady's just jabbering away over here, right? And the next thing I know, I'm sitting there with my feet in the sand, and I look down, and I mean, it just came out of my mouth before I realized it. I was like, I really got to go home and quit my job. And the lady sitting next to me, she was like, what? Like, I don't even remember what she was talking about. But what? And I said, I got to go home and quit my job. Like, I just knew, right? I need to go home and quit my job. So when I got back to work the next Tuesday, my boss called me into his office and fired me. Laid me off. But he wasn't nice about it, right? He laid me off because they were going through a big layoff in the company. He laid me off. He was he wasn't a nice guy, really, anyway. And so I started laughing, started kind of giggling. And he was like, why are you giggling? And I said, it's really funny. I came to work this morning fully intending on quitting. And he kind of sat there. Because then he thought it was because of him, and it kind of was. And he said, why were you going to quit? And I said, well, I was just going to quit. I was just going to quit. It's not time for me to be here anymore. Said I was sitting on the beach and realized I need to quit. And then he started, basically, at first he started backtracking really quickly about, how this is a great company to work for and all this other stuff. And then, of course, I was like, well, I appreciate it, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and go clean out my desk, because my layoff was like right then. Like, he called me in to fire me, laid me off right then, right? But I got a severance package because I got laid off. So I was giggling about it. And he followed me to my desk, and he was really, really like perturbed that I was going to come in and quit. And he went back into his office after a little bit. I had gathered all my stuff up in a box. Like, I was not going to sit down and answer his emails or anything. I was like, nope, that's cool. Like, I appreciate it. And the whole time I was giggling, right? I'm giggling about it. So he went back in his office. He slammed the door. And I went and picked up my son. He was at my grandparents' house, and took them all to lunch. We all, just, McDonald's. But we had a great day. And then the next morning, the vice president of the area I worked for in sales and marketing called me and asked me to come in. And he was like, he was not supposed to lay you off. He was supposed to tell you to come and speak to me. And I ended up getting a job as his assistant with much better pay and benefits. So sometimes we have to focus on that transition. All of that to say this, Amy, I hope that you understood why I was telling you that. all of that to say this. Sometimes we have to focus on that transition. And sometimes we have to focus on what the universe keeps telling us over and over and over, and just have the balls to do it, if that makes sense. I hope that that's what you needed to hear. Like, I kept feeling like, I was like, just tell her that story. All right. The guidance on how to communicate it. I'm glad that makes sense. Before I turn this card over, Amy, I just want you to know this is the guidance on how to communicate it. You're too nice. Because this is the Abaddon card. And it's pestilence and malice and corruption. You are too nice. You are way too nice. Because the guidance on how to communicate it is pestilence. Malice. I'm sorry. What? I mean, I guess this is the universe being like, guess what, Amy? Just go throw curses at everybody. And you get a jar. 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 This is funny shit. Tell me that's not brilliant. Tell me that's not the funniest fucking thing ever. You've never been accused of being too nice. Well, apparently you're not being Amy enough then, Amy. Because this is the guidance on how to communicate it. I mean, maybe don't go as far as to, like, you know, knock people in their chiclets, because I mean, we could all probably come up with bail money, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying. And I think it's funny that you said, I've never been accused of being too nice. You're feeling like you're in your villain era. I mean, I would 100% say that's a go. That's a green flag. Ooh, my nose is itching. Somebody's talking about me. Talk away, bitches. All right, you ready for the full moon download? This is the big lesson of 2025, what it taught you, what it is you're going to release this evening, and then your keywords. Woo! 2 keywords. 2 keywords. I'm glad that made you smile. I'm glad that made you smile. All right. You ready? I knew I was getting yawn. Probably because I'm talking too fast. What's the big lesson of 2025? What did this teach you? Courage. I find it interesting that Stephanie's keyword was your lesson of 2025. Having the courage to stand up and do the things. Having the courage to do all of the things. Having the courage to step forward and walk tall in who Amy is. I'm proud of you for that. In case nobody has told you, Amy, I'm really proud of you for that. Because having courage, having the courage to be who you are, having the courage to walk tall in all of the shit going on around you, people don't get enough credit for that, in my opinion. And I'm proud of you for that. Oh, look, there's my puzzle piece because I'm not animated enough. I don't know why that always cracks me up. I'm like, I'm a pretty animated talker. Ready? So, I'm going to say it one more time. I'm really proud of you for that. It also tells me that your 2025 was a very, very shitty year. Just saying. Was a very, very shitty year. All right, you ready? This is what you're releasing tonight. Finding love. You take that however you need it, but being that you had focus as one of the truths that you needed to hear, sometimes our focus is just in the wrong place. You know, when I started doing this for a living, okay, does that make sense? For a living. Ooh, I finally popped my ears. That was glorious. I didn't really love it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really love it. Did I love making things? Yes, I did. I love making things, like sitting there making art pieces and totems and things like that. I loved that part. But I had been reading for a while, and I mean, y'all are going to know exactly what I mean when I say this. People are dicks. People are dicks. If you want to hear the worst of the things that people can say to you, the worst of the things that people can say to other people, the worst of the things that people can do to other people, become a card reader. Become a card reader. I'm just saying. People are dicks. So I was like, I don't know that I want to do this for a living. Like, I don't know that I want to do this for a living. And then here I am. And now I absolutely love what I do. Do I get burnt out? Yes. Yes, everybody does. But I gave up on something else that I really, really loved, which was doing a lot of artwork. Like, I, for a decade, was in every art thing here in Tulsa. Like, I did all this stuff, right? And I had to let go of that. I had to let go of that. And it was hard. And I still have big blank canvases in there and things like that. It was hard for me to do. But the other thing that goes with this, and I said, this is why I said, take this how you need it, okay? Love, relationship love, I've also tried to kind of force that a little bit, right? And I've realized that I'm just fine focusing on myself. I'm just fine focusing on that crazy ass church I bought. I'm just fine focusing on business. I'm just fine doing this. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I find it interesting when I see all these videos come across my For You page. I see you there, Misty Dawn. I find it interesting when I see all these videos come across my For You page about how, you know, women are finding out that they're better on their own, you know, that they can do things on their own and so on. And being in Oklahoma, it's pushed on us from a young age here that you have to have somebody. Like, I'm glad I wasn't raised here all the way, but it's pushed that you got to have somebody. You got to get married, you got to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you got to get married, you got to have kids and all that stuff. And I'm realizing, like, that's not high on my totem pole right now. It's not high on my priorities. Doesn't have to be high on y'all's priorities either. Just saying. So your keywords, you have two keywords. You have two keywords. The top keyword, charisma. This is the eternal charisma card. So charisma. And the elixir of life. Interesting. Interesting. Charisma. And I'm going to say, instead of it being the words elixir of life, you need to really think about what your elixir of life is, if that makes sense, Amy. We all have something different. Some people immediately said coffee, but, and I'm not going to lie, that's high on my totem pole. But every single one of us has a different elixir that we have to find. This is your year to find it. For those of you guys that are asking about reads, if you click on my profile link, if there are any left for today, then you can book one of those. Just saying. I think they're great words. I think those are good words. Just saying. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I like that every time I go back to my list, it reorganizes it. It's fun. It's great. It's fantastic. Great. All right. I think Kara is next. Yep, Kara is next. That has to be a leaf blower. Because I'm like, who the hell is outside mowing their yard? Leaf blowers. Everybody is commenting on the hot pink today. I mean, I actually wear this thing around my house a lot. It has pockets. It has pockets. But it's nice, flowy, warm, right? I got it several years ago at Christmas. Christmas? I think it was Christmas. Like one of the little holiday things or whatever. I was going to say something and now I forgot what I was going to say, so I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Oh yeah, the other day I was having one of those days where I just didn't want to. Does that make sense? Like I just didn't want to. And I got out of the shower and got dressed and I looked down at myself. I was like, wow. Had the ugliest furry shoes ever. Turquoise socks. And then a shirt, like a baby doll shirt that I don't ever wear. That says "Take Me Back to Tulsa." And then this, and I had my hair pulled up. I was like, oh Lord. I look like a straight up hippie dumpster fire right now. Like, I didn't care. I was so comfortable. I didn't give a shit. The cosmic DM, Kara. Why are they getting close to my house? Now they're out there. Sir, I'm trying to work. All right. Here you go, Kara. Cosmic DM. How did you get withdrawal? How did you get withdrawal? Because this was the Cosmic DM in the last reading as well. But yours, I'm going to say yours is a little different, and it is being a hermit. And it is being a hermit. Okay, let me pause for a minute. Somebody DM'd me telling me they sensed a stranger around me. Do I trust it? No. Y'all, let me just pause real quick. If anyone messages you, says that they sensed something around you, it's bullshit, delete it. It's bullshit, delete it. If it's your best friend, and they're like, man, I had this weird ass dream or blah, 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 that's different. But if they messaged you out of the blue and said they sensed that you had, your energy was off, or they sensed that this or whatever, no. That is a scammer. No legitimate reader, psychic, medium, anything like that is ever going to reach out and say, oh, I have a message for you. If you'll just give me $39.95 or send a donation or no. The reason that they say to send a donation is because if they actually ask you for money, then that's grifting, that's panhandling, and they will get deleted off the app. And I know people are like, well, why don't they get deleted off the app anyway? I don't know, man. I still can't get the damn blue check mark, even though I have a fucking IMDb. I have an acting page, and I still can't get a blue check mark, but whatever. But yeah, just block that page, delete the message. Like, don't answer it back. Don't give any information. Don't give any information. All right. Kara, withdraw. You are so welcome, sweetheart. Besides, if a reader is actually going to reach out to you with a message, they're going to give you the message. Because let me say that I have had a couple of times when I've reached out to somebody and I've been like, hey, I don't know why you were in my dream, or I feel like you've been on my mind or whatever. I'm just going to give you the message. I'm not going to ask you for money or a donation or anything like that. I'm just going to give you the message. So, Kara, yours is a little different though. Instead of it being more like, oh, you need to withdraw from a situation, this is, you really need to kind of pull back and hermit. What the fuck? They're outside blowing shit and now all of a sudden I'm coughing. Not that they like are blowing my house down, but pull back and full on look at everything going on. Sometimes you need that hermit phase to pull back and go, okay, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, this is doing the right thing. Do you see what I mean? Sometimes you need to pull back and make a big assessment of everything going on in your life. We get overwhelmed, and it's so easy for us to get overwhelmed no matter how old you are. I know five-year-olds that are overwhelmed. It's so easy to get overwhelmed and to have too much on our plate, and then we don't know what it is that we need to do or not do because we have so much. Well, that is really pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie. And the thing is, my neighbors over there, they don't have any leaves in their yard because they already had them taken care of. Sorry. It's irritating shit on me. Kara, pull back. No, we don't have any snow. We did not get a drop of rain here after having a winter storm warning last night. No rain, no snow, no ice, no nothing. I'm a little sad. I wanted at least something. We need the moisture really badly. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. It still looks like fall. It still looks like fall. So yeah, I was wondering, Brandon, if you guys got any down there, because it looked like y'all were gonna get slammed. Yeah, we got nothing. Not a damn thing. Kara, pull back and just look at the entire situation. Look at the entire situation of everything. Okay. So now let's do the twin tongues reading. The truth. The truth you need to speak. The truth you need to hear. Oh, I hate that noise. It's ugly. It's like this weird glowing gray color. That noise makes me... Y'all ever have those noises? They just make you mad. Whatever the frequency of that is, it makes me mad. I don't like it. Ooh, okay. I don't really know how it fell. I hate that. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't really know how it fell because it hit my chair. All right, Kara. The truth you need to speak. Cha! The maestro, which is understanding, community, and ingenuity. My very first thought when I picked this card up was, it is okay for you to have friends. It is okay for you to have a community. It is okay for you to have us weirdos in your corner. It is okay for you to, like, I can't keep my thoughts on focus because of that, and it's pissing me off. It's okay for you to build your people. That sounded wrong, but you know what I meant. Build your group of people. It is okay for you to have the people around you that you need around you. Because when we have a strong community around us, that helps us to be understanding of the world more. When we have a community around us, it means that we have other people we can bounce ideas off of. It means that we open our mind a little bit. It means that we pay attention to more things. Because if you're just by yourself all the time, not that that's not great, but if you're just by yourself all the time, then it gets to the point where you only know what you know. Does that make sense? You only know what you know. If you have other people around you where you can bounce ideas off, where you can be like, hey, did you know blah, blah, blah? Like, that person may know all about blah, blah, blah. Or they may come to you and say, hey, did you know about blah, blah, blah? And then both of you are down a rabbit hole. Do you see what I mean? When you have a community around you and you have people that you can trust, that you can talk about weird shit with, you learn more. Your brain opens up more. All of these things happen, and it's great and it's glorious. And so it's okay for you to have friends. It's okay for you to have a community. It's okay for you to have people around you that you can talk about crazy shit with. Does that make sense? I'm just saying. And here's the other thing too. Because I know a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't like having people in my life. I don't like blah, blah, blah. Liars. I said what I said. I don't need nobody. Liar. Just saying. Here's why I say that. Because I went through a phase where I felt like I didn't need to have friends. I didn't need to have anybody in my life. I didn't need that. I didn't need this. I just needed, my family and my kids, and that was it. I didn't need anybody in my life, right? And it got to the point where I shut everybody off. And when I really actually needed help, and I really realized that it wasn't me that was telling me that I didn't need friends, that it was somebody else, putting it in my head that I didn't need anything and anybody. I found out who my real friends were really quickly. We all get really guarded with people because people have shown us that they're fucking shit. It is what it is. But you can't find the good people until you weed through the shit people. I'm just saying. It took me a while, and don't get me wrong, because of being on social media, because of the way that some people are, it's hard for me to trust someone right off the bat. It really is. It really is. But I have some of the greatest friends that I've ever had in my life that I've met online. I know that at any time I can call them up and say, hey, I'm in a bind. I need some help. And there they are. And vice versa. But I wouldn't have those friends if I didn't weed through the shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know right now I could call Christine and say, hey, I'm in a bind. I really, really need some help. And she'd be like, okay, let me see what I can do. She could call Scarly, same thing. Scarly could call Sass, same thing. Sass could call Brandon, same thing. Brandon could call Donna, same thing. Do you see what I mean? Like, we have this group that's absolutely fucking amazing. And if you guys don't have that, then, well, one, we all have a coven. You're welcome to come and be a part of it. We'll be revamping the days that we meet instead of Monday nights, because it's a little hard to meet on Monday nights. But I'm just saying, give yourself permission to find that. Because a lot of times we isolate ourselves because of the way the world is, or because someone has pounded it in our head that we have to have this and we have to have that and we have to be by ourselves. And that's not the case, man. Now, I call myself a very extroverted introvert. I love people. I love being around people. I love talking to people until I'm done, and then I want to go home. But I'm just saying. All right. What's the truth you need to hear, Kara? The Traveler. So this is restlessness, independence, and appraisal. And I find it interesting that appraisal is on here when you had the withdrawal card, and I said, hey, you need to pull back and withdraw and look at everything that's going on around you. Appraise all of the stuff, right? I am going to go look and see what this is, because this is getting louder, and I'm about to go punch bunny rabbits. Not really, but I wanted to say that. But this is driving me up the fucking wall. So it is leaf blowers. The people across the street are having a tree cut down. The people across the street, wow, I looked like a big old girl there. Look at that. I love this fucking thing, man. They're having a tree cut down. And it's getting bigger. So, I know, bears. I know. They just started cutting that down. Yay. People are gonna taking care of that. You're not wrong. All right, Kara. Apparently, the appraisal and you paying attention to all of the reasons that you've been restless lately. And I know that you're gonna hate me for saying this, but this is shadow work. This is shadow work. It just is. It is shadow work. When we are restless and we don't know why, it takes a little bit of appraisal to pay attention. It takes a little bit of, let me step back and let me look at everything. It takes a lot of us paying attention to what's been going on and why those things have been going on. And sometimes that answer doesn't come for a little bit. Sometimes that answer takes a couple of weeks or more for us to figure out why it is that we've been so restless. But you 100% need to take a step back from everything and everyone. And I find it interesting that that is the truth you needed to hear, and that's also the withdrawal card that was up there. So the guidance on how to communicate it. This is the card that I don't know how it fell and then it moved, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just reward, evaluation, and respite, which is a rest. Oh no, you kind of have to just hermit for the rest of the year, Kara. Oh no, that sounds terrible, damn it. Oh no, you have to just, chill out in your own house, in your own space. Oh no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know that there is another part to this that I need to do, but I am about to punch babies. One of the things about having synesthesia is there are certain noises that are so bright and loud and I can't focus. Like I can't focus with that going on. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get off of here until that is done, and then I'll get back on. I'll be back on YouTube and here on TikTok. And I've either got to put some earphones in or something. With synesthesia, let me explain this to you, and you guys would not be able to concentrate either. It's like if this noise was coming at you from both sides in a point. So like that. Like this. That's what it is, but it's like this. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm gonna get up here for a minute. I'll be back on later when they're done, and I'm gonna put on some headphones before I go punch baby bunny rabbits. All right. I will see you guys here in a little bit. Okay. Dude, this